Now this is a tale that the coachman told as he flicked the flies from Marigold and flattered and fondled Pharaoh. The sun swung low in the western skies. Out on a plain just over a rise stood Nimity Bell on Monero. Cold as charity, cold as hell, bleak, bare, barren Nimity Bell. Nimity Bell on Monero. Now this here happened in '83, the coldest winter ever we see. Struth, it was cold as could be out here on Monero. It froze the blankets, it froze the fleas, it froze the sap in the blinking trees. It made a grindstone out of cheese right here in Monero. Freezing and snowing. Ask the old hands. They seen, they knows, and they understands. The plows was froze, and the cattle brands down here in Monero. Oh, it froze our fingers and froze our toes. I seen a passenger's breath so froze, icicles hung from his bloody nose long as the tail on Pharaoh. I catched a curlew down by the creek. His feet was froze to his bloody beak. He stayed like that for over a week. That's cold on Monero. Why, even the air got froze that tight you could hear the awfulest sounds at night when things was put to a fire or a light out here on Monero. For the sounds was froze. At Aiden's bog, a cove, he cross-cut a big backlog. Carted her home. He wants to jog. Steady, go steady there, Pharaoh. As soon as his log begins to thaw, they hears the sounds of the cross-cut saw thawing out. Yeah. His name was Law. Old hands them laws on Monero. The second week of this here cold snap, I'm driving the coach. A Sydney chap. He strikes this part of the bloomin' map, a new hand here on Monero. His name or game I never heard tell, but he gets off at Nimity Bell. Blowin' like bluey, freezin' like hell at Nimity Bell on Monero. The drinks was froze, of course, in the bar. They breaks a bottle of old 3-Star, and the barman says, "Now, there you are, you can't beat that for Monero." The stranger bloke, he was tall and thin, says, "Strike me blue, but I think you win. We'll have another and I'll turn in. It's bloody cold on Monero." He borrowed a book and went to bed to read a while, so the missus said, by the candlelight. He must have read, the nights is long on Monero, past closing time. Then he starts and blows the candle out. But the wick had froze. Leastways, that's what folks round here suppose. Old hands has lived on Monero. So, being tired and a stranger, new to these mountain ways, they think he threw his coat on the wick, and maybe, too, any old clothes he'd to spare. Oh, this ain't no fairy, don't you fret. Next day come warmer, and set in wet. There's some out here as can mind it yet, the real old hands on Monero. Well, the wick must have thawed. The fire began at breakfast time. The neighbours all ran to save the pub and forgot the man. Steady, go steady there, Mero. The pub was burned to the bloody ground. His buttons was all they ever found. The bloody cow, he owed me £1 from Kuma, his bloody Pharaoh. And that ain't no fairy, not what I've told. I'm getting shaky and growing old, and I hope I never again see cold like that down here on Monero. He drives his horses. He drives them well. And this is the tale he loves to tell, nearing the town of Nimity Bell. Nimity Bell on Monero.